Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Buenos días, buenas tardes y buenas noches. Aquí estamos con Profesor Pablo y la lección del día es, today's lesson is, general recommendation. How do you make a recommendation that can apply to everyone when you say it? It's a three-step process. You say IK plus the infinitive. IK plus the infinitive. Remember, our foundation has three major parts: the present tense, the preterite past, and infinitives. We know the present, and we certainly know infinitives well now, so we're getting there. Let's practice. You got to pay attention. Hay que poner atención. Can we expand that sentence? Sure. Hay que poner atención en la clase porque es importante, because it's important. You got to pay attention when the teacher's talking. Hay que poner atención cuando el maestro está hablando. Hacerlo. You got to do it. Hay que hacerlo. Can we expand? You got to do it because it's fun. Hay que hacerlo porque es divertido. Pagar las cuentas. You got to pay the bills because it's important. Hay que pagar las cuentas porque es importante. It's necessary. Es necesario. Hay que pagar las cuentas. Ver esto, to see this. Hay que ver esto. You got to see this because it's really interesting. Hay que ver esto porque es muy interesante. Let's go down here, no fumar. El doctor dice, the doctor says, hay que no fumar. Hay que no fumar. The doctor says, you can't smoke. Hay que no fumar. Tener cuidado. Hay que tener cuidado. You've got to be careful. How about, let's take manejar and put it in the ando ing form. You've got to be careful driving. Hay que tener cuidado manejando. If you're in a legal setting with lawyers, hay que tener cuidado hablando. You've got to be careful speaking. Hay que tener cuidado hablando. When it's raining outside, you have to be careful walking. Hay que tener cuidado caminando. You see, we take these Legos, caminando, we take the ing, we take the infinitive, we take the present tense, we take linking words like porque, because, cuando, when, si, if, pero, but, and we link sentences together. We create language. That's what we're doing. We're building sentences. Let's go down here to pensarlo, to think it over. If you want to buy a car, si quieres comprar un carro, hay que pensarlo muy bien. You got to think it over a lot. Hay que pensarlo. Hay que pensarlo. Think about it before you make a big move. Hay que pensarlo. You tell your son, Frankie, hay que dormir más. You got to sleep more. Hay que dormir más. And Frankie says, no, I don't want to. I want to play video games. No, no quiero. Quiero jugar videojuegos. And Dad says, Frankie, hay que dormir. And then Frankie starts to say something, and the dad says, he puts his foot down, hay que. Hay que. That's all you need to say. Hay que. In other words, you got to do it. Hay que. Hacer la tarea, same thing, teacher to student. Hay que hacer la tarea. You've got to do homework to get good grades. Hay que hacer la tarea para sacar buenas notas. Okay? You need to do the homework to do well in school. Hay que hacer la tarea para hacer bien en la escuela. Manejar despacio. You got to drive slowly. Hay que manejar despacio. Let's expand the sentence. Especialmente cuando, it's raining. Now we know how to do the ing form. You take estar. Estoy, estás, está. It is. Llover, take the er off and add iendo for the ing form. You've got to drive slowly when it's raining. Hay que manejar despacio cuando está lloviendo. These are general recommendations, okay? Hacer ejercicios. You've got to exercise. Hay que hacer ejercicios. You've got to exercise to have good health. Hay que hacer ejercicios para tener, to have, buena salud. Estudiar. Hay que estudiar. You got to study. Hay que estudiar para sacar buenas notas. You got to study to get good grades. Ir. Something exciting is going on in the town center and you say, hay que ir. Hay que ir. You got to go. Hay que ir porque es increíble, because it is incredible. Hay que ir porque es increíble. Llegar a tiempo. To be on time, to arrive on time. En el trabajo, at work, hay que llegar a tiempo. You've got to arrive on time. En el trabajo, en la escuela, en el aeropuerto, hay que llegar a tiempo. You've got to be on time at work, in school, at an airport. Hay que llegar a tiempo. Estar preparado for everything in life, para todo en la vida. Hay que estar preparado. Hay que estar preparado. Lavarse las manos. Antes de comer, before eating, antes de comer, hay que lavarse las manos. Before eating, you've got to wash your hands, right? Después de trabajar, after working, hay que lavarse las manos. Decir gracias. Siempre. Hay que decir gracias. You've always got to say thanks. Siempre hay que decir gracias. No quejarse. Hay que no quejarse. You got to not complain. Hay que no quejarse. It's a stereotypical sentence. You've got to not complain because nobody wants to listen. Hay que no quejarse porque, because, there's your linking word, porque nadie, no one, quiere, the verb querer, e to I, stem change, an infinitive. Don't you see how easy this is? Hay que no quejarse porque nadie quiere escuchar. No one wants to listen. Okay, so that's our lesson. I que plus your infinitive. And of course, after you make your I que statement, you can put a linking word in and stretch it out and come up with some big, long sentences. Alrighty? Learn some new vocabulary here, right? Pagar las cuentas, pay the bills. Poner atención, to pay attention. Pensarlo, to think it over. Tener cuidado, to be careful. Lavarse las manos, wash your hands. Estar preparado. These are all pretty easy, but they're very common words that we use. Okay, gracias, mis amigos. I can imagine you beyond the lens of the camera. Thank you always for tuning in, and keep those comments coming. I like to hear from you. If you have any requests, what you'd like me to teach or clarify, please let me know. And remember, they say that repetition is the mother of learning. La repetición es la madre de la enseñanza. So what does that mean? We talked about the dipstick in a past lesson with the present tense. Wherever you are, pull out that dipstick for that lesson and look where the full mark is and see if your knowledge and skills rise up to the full mark. If it doesn't, then what you want to do is go back over the lesson, go over it however many times you need to make sure you learn it, because we don't want any gaps. The Spanish communication that we're learning is one big long chain, one big transformer made out of Legos, and every part is important. Okay, es todo por ahora. Hey, when you get time, check out profesorpablo.com. If you like it, use the promo code Pablo50 and you get a 500-page ebook program with all this and tons more for $15. Okay, gracias por todo. Gracias por escuchar. Gracias por estudiar. Y gracias por aprender. Hasta luego. Bye.